Some women don't chase, and yet they're never forgotten. A truth whispered across centuries, carved not in fleeting words but in the silence between them. There are women whose absence cuts deeper than another's embrace, whose silence is heavier than another's cries. And when she withdraws, not in anger, not in performance, but in quiet sovereignty, a man begins to tremble within himself, for he does not understand what has been awakened. The desire he once thought simple now expands into obsession. The longing he thought manageable grows teeth, feeding on every unanswered glance, every withheld word, every echo of distance. And Jung's psychology reminds us what he feels is not her doing, but his own unconscious, erupting from beneath the surface. The anima, the hidden feminine within him, once projected onto her, now slips beyond his grasp. He believed she would stay. He believed her light existed only for him. But when she turns away, even slightly, he is forced to confront what he never wanted to see: his own dependency, his own fear, his own shadow. And it is here, in the gap between what she offers and what she withholds, that the seed of addiction is planted. Not the addiction of pleasure, but the addiction of absence. Not the intoxication of what he holds, but the madness of what he has lost. She does not do this as strategy. She does not weaponize her worth. She simply stands in it, unmoved, untouched by his storms. And this, more than beauty, more than touch, is what binds him. For silence to the wounded man is never neutral. It is abandonment. It is rejection. It is the echo of every moment in his childhood where love was withheld, affection was rationed, and attention was a prize to be won. So her quiet becomes his chaos. Her detachment becomes his torment. And yet, he cannot look away. For the woman who ignores him does not fade. She multiplies. In his imagination, she becomes myth, goddess, phantom, dream. Every other woman pales. Every other desire feels thin, because she, the one who does not chase, has revealed something deeper, the abyss of his own need. This is not merely attraction. This is the shadow Jung spoke of, rising in the form of obsession, the shadow that whispers, "You are not in control. You are not whole. You are not enough without her." And so the paradox is born. The less she gives, the more he clings. The more she withdraws, the more he pursues. The more she rests in her silence, the louder his psyche screams. It is not her cruelty that wounds him. It is her sovereignty, her refusal to collapse into need, her refusal to kneel before his ego. And this is why she is unforgettable, because she is not only a woman, she is the mirror. And what man forgets the mirror that showed him his truest face? He does not yet understand why her silence shakes him so deeply. It is not the woman herself who terrifies him, but the reflection she awakens. Carl Jung taught that every man carries a shadow, the disowned fragments of self locked away in darkness. And it is in the presence of a sovereign woman that this shadow stirs. When she turns away, his certainty collapses. When she withdraws her gaze, his ego splinters. And in the quiet that follows, the voices he tried to bury rise again. The boy who was unseen whispers. The man who was never enough claws at his chest. The soul that longed to be held now rages at the thought of being abandoned. She does not know the exact weight of what she carries, yet her absence becomes the trigger. For every man projects onto the beloved not only his hope, but his wound. He does not crave her alone. He craves what she represents. She is the unclaimed anima, the lost tenderness, the forbidden softness within himself. And so when she vanishes, even for a moment, it feels as if his own soul has been stolen away. This is the secret of obsession. It is not her body he wants. It is not her words he misses. It is the wholeness he imagined she gave him, the wholeness he never found within. The Stoics would say, nothing external can wound a man unless he grants it power. But the wounded man does not believe this, for his ego has been built not on inner strength, but on outer reflection. He is addicted to being desired, to being pursued, to being needed. And when she refuses to kneel, when she offers no hunger to mirror his, the fragility beneath his mask is revealed. Silence to her is boundary, but to him it is abandonment. And so he lashes out, sometimes in anger, sometimes in pursuit, sometimes in cold withdrawal meant to punish. Yet each act only deepens the truth. Her quiet has already entered his bones. Picture him alone in the night, scrolling through her absence. Every unanswered message becomes a wound. Every memory of her laughter grows sharper in the silence. He tells himself he does not care, yet the psyche betrays him. For dreams return her face again and again, and his waking hours bend around the gravity of the one who will not chase. And here lies the paradox Jung warned of. The ego resists what the soul demands. The ego clings to control, but the soul longs for surrender. And when the archetypal woman withdraws, she threatens both at once. The ego cannot dominate her, and the soul cannot let her go. This is why obsession grows, because she stands not as a woman alone, but as symbol, a mirror to the places within him that remain unclaimed. She reveals the fracture he carries. She reminds him that he is not whole, and so he is caught between desire and fear. To lose her feels like death. To chase her feels like humiliation. To ignore her feels impossible. And so he spirals, deeper into projection, deeper into shadow, deeper into the addiction born not of love, but of absence. He will tell others she is cold, manipulative, cruel, but the truth is simpler. She has become the mirror, and he cannot bear the reflection. Desire left unchecked becomes fire. But when desire is denied, when it is starved, restrained, unanswered, it does not die. It grows sharper, it grows darker, and in the silence of her retreat, obsession is born. She does not chase, she does not beg, she does not surrender her dignity to feed his ego. And because she withholds, she becomes unforgettable. For the psyche does not cling to what is easily attained, it clings to what escapes its grasp. Jung spoke of projection, the way the soul casts its unclaimed fragments upon another. In her absence, he does not see her as she truly is. He sees myth. He sees goddess. He sees phantom. She becomes larger than life, an archetype that eclipses all others. Every woman who reaches for him feels smaller. Every touch, every smile from another pales against the haunting image of the one who walks away. She has become scarcity itself, and scarcity to the human mind is irresistible. This is the cruel paradox. The more she detaches, the more he attaches. The less she needs, the more he needs. Her silence becomes the loudest sound in his soul. It is here the dance of obsession begins. He circles her absence like a starving animal, searching for fragments of attention. A glance, a word, a fragment of warmth. Each becomes enough to sustain weeks of craving. And yet nothing satisfies, because what he truly seeks is not her presence, but the restoration of his broken self. The Stoics would remind us, true strength lies in mastery of the self, not in possession of another. But the wounded masculine does not yet know this. He confuses craving with love, addiction with intimacy, possession with connection. And in this confusion, his hunger deepens. She is not cruel. She does not withdraw to wound him. She simply honors her worth. Her silence is not a weapon, but a boundary. Yet he experiences it as punishment, as rejection, as the one thing he cannot endure. The more he resists, the more he is trapped. For resistance feeds obsession, and so he is caught in a spiral. His ego bruised, his desire sharpened, his longing unending. He remembers her laugh and turns it into a prophecy. He remembers her touch and imagines it as salvation. He replays each moment like a film he cannot stop watching, searching for signs, meanings, hidden messages that might explain why she does not return. But what he seeks is not in her, it is in him, the shadow he refuses to claim, the anima he refuses to embrace, the emptiness he refuses to face. And so his obsession grows, because she, the sovereign feminine, has stepped back, and in doing so, she has revealed his truth, that he was never addicted to her. He was addicted to what she reflected. He was addicted to the illusion that she completed him. And when the mirror withdraws, he sees the fracture. He sees the wound. He sees the hollowness he cannot bear to name. This is the dance of obsession, a dance where one stands still and the other cannot stop moving, where silence becomes the loudest scream, where absence becomes more intoxicating than presence, where ignoring him creates an addiction stronger than desire. In every man's hunger lies a history. When he aches for her silence to end, he is not merely aching for her, he is aching for the mother who withheld, for the father who was distant, for the childhood wound that taught him love must be earned through suffering. Her quiet detachment becomes more than a moment, it becomes a mirror. And in that mirror, he sees not only her absence, but every absence he has ever endured. This is why his craving burns so violently. It is not the woman alone he longs for. It is repair, redemption, the rewriting of a wound he never dared to face. Yet the sovereign feminine does not step in to heal him. She does not sacrifice herself to mend what he refuses to touch. She holds her silence as a sacred act, a boundary that speaks, "Your healing is yours, not mine." And here, in this unbearable truth, the addiction sharpens into revelation. He begins to realize that no woman can rescue him from himself. No chase, no conquest, no possession will still the storm within. Only the courage to face his shadow will. For her, the woman who walks away, the story is different. Her silence is not cruelty, it is self-respect. It is the final declaration that she will not be consumed by his wounds, nor defined by his hunger. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And so she steps back, refusing to become his fate, refusing to be the stage upon which his shadow endlessly repeats. Her silence becomes her power, her distance, her freedom. And when she leaves, she does not leave empty. She leaves whole. Because the woman who knows her worth is never truly forgotten. Her absence becomes a haunting, a lesson, a mirror. She walks not in weakness, but in clarity, not in surrender, but in sovereignty. And so the final truth emerges. The woman who walks away in silence isn't weak. She simply sees more. If these words touched a place in you, if you felt the ache, the truth, or the silence within them, then stay close. Subscribe so the next time you need strength, it finds you. And leave your mark with a like, not for the algorithm, but as a quiet signal that you too have begun to see more.